Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this introductory video of the Point Cook Flying Sim. My name is Andrew and I'll run you through a quick heads up on what's actually contained in the simulator. So starting from the back where you enter, we've got a curtain shade both left and right to block off the sim when you're two people are in there, nice and quiet and no distractions from other people. So I've used two car seats out of a Commodore, and the seat on the left hand side there has been hooked up to a 12 volt battery, and there's a mechanism down the right hand side of the seat there that operates like a rumble switch that will take the seat up and down, forward and back and so forth. Now I've got an operations manual there, so first time users can come in and read through that and learn quite quickly how to set the sim up, no problems. Logbook, the warning label there, the seat's on 12 volt power, don't disconnect it. A hood for instrument work, a couple of Melbourne VFR flight guide, things like that. We've got a speaker system here that's 5.1 down that other corner down there, right hand corner and rear right corner as well. Overhead keyboard to control a couple of items such as barometric stuff, your GPS stuff, pause, and I'll be adding a few more things in the near future. Got a courtesy light there, just a touch light, so the cabin can be lit when you're in here doing night operations. Alright, moving forward, so we've got a 32-inch screen on that side there and one on the right hand side as well. Map tuck for various charts and checklists, things like that. I've used 5 iPads in the cockpit and they run at Air Manager 2.0, which is currently what's available. Hopefully Air Manager 3 comes out soon and gives us some more gauges. SATEC panels, I've used them, so nice and easy and they work quite well. You see your bottom left hand corner, there's a USB outlet down there so we can get some headsets into that. SATEC pedals, throttle quadrant and trim wheel. I've created my own fuel box with the fuel shut off and tank selector there, and that's running a USB emulator. So that's running with a USB emulator to replicate a keyboard input. 3 micro switches in there, plus a normal automotive push-pull switch. Back up in this direction here, you see the left-hand corner, you go over there is a fuel primer push-pull switch. Working up across the top there, there's a bit of a courtesy light just located in there, so you get a bit of a light across the panel. Park brake, carb heat and alternate air, all located there on a push-pull switch. Autopilot panel and radio panel there, you can flick between things such as COM1, COM2, NAV1, NAV2. You can tune your ADF there, your transponder, so forth. Working up in this direction here, got a annunciator test panel there, works quite nicely. Get a quick look at that. So she comes, yep. We've got the COM panel there and the flap indicator switches. Working across in this direction here, we've got an ELT. I've just hooked up to the 12 volt battery, just for procedural purposes. It doesn't do anything to the sim. Nav GPS, that actually changes the nav source in the aircraft, and for that 12 volt battery there, we've got a test switch just to keep eye on the volts. That's being fed by a 1 amp trickle charger, so the 12 volt battery always keeps charged up. LED light control there, which controls the down lights across the dash, so you can change your colours there if you wish. Alright, and we've got a 50-inch TV there as the main screen. Let's take a look, quick look on top there. Just a couple of connectors and cables, a couple of headsets ready to go in for two-way comms between that sim and the actual flight deck crew. Walking around behind the sim now, you see the two 32-inch screens, or sorry, the one 32-inch screen there. In case you're wondering, the stuff I use here is just white corrugated plastic panel. The subframe is all timber and it's all mounted onto a large oversized shipping pallet. Back here where the computer is, quite a beast. Pretty much took my inspiration from Michael Brown at X-Force PC. Thank you very much for that. I used your recommendations to build that PC. I built that one by myself, just got some parts from MSY here in Melbourne. 12 volt truck battery on the floor there, circuit breakers and fuses just in case there's a fire in here or anything like that. Right, have a look on behind here, the business end, so the back of the SATEC yoke there. On top got a nice 5 amp USB power. For anyone building in cockpits, just be aware, more USB you chuck on, you need to boost that power. There's a control box, so the USB power box for the 5 iPads that we're running there, so they're all charging all the time as we're going along. And you can see the back of the way the iPads are all mounted in the back here. That every iPad will slide out so you can overhaul it, change them, or do maintenance on the iPad. All you have to do there is lift out the cockpit cowling here, and that's all on Velcro. I'm going to pull that out. Out come the 5 iPads, no problem. See the back of the switches there, just a couple of those little automotive switches, nice and simple stuff, and they just run down to the USB emulator in that fuel box, like I said before. Alright, and we'll walk around the other side of the sim just quickly. Come down this side here now. There's that same 32-inch monitor, a whole bunch of cables. Other side of the computer there, and still got 2 available outlets there, so for anything else might want to build up later on. There's a bus bar located behind here, so that's running down to the main battery source, and down the back of the bus bar here, a couple of those services like the LED overhead light, that ELT, and so forth, some other paraphernalia. Yep, so that's the back end of the sim. Alright, going back in the cockpit real quick. I'll just show you how some of the stuff in here works. A bit more detail look, I should say. So, keyboard stove for a regular keyboard there. Got a whiteboard on hand. Another USB outlet for the second, for the co-pilot, or just basically a USB outlet for plugging in your iPad or something like that. As you can see, come back and cross in this direction here, that fuel box I want to talk about before. So behind there is 3 micro switches. You can see I've got a stopper on that one there. So right hand micro switch activated, center micro switch, left micro switch. Nice and simple. And if you do use this fuel shut off valve located here, and you pull it out, the fuel will shut off to the aircraft. To reassert it, you've got to push the fuel shut off back in and just cycle the tanks one time, and that will reset it back to both or left or right. Okay, come across this way here, just a couple of things I've made to the yoke here. So autopilot disconnect where it should be. We've got change of views there real quick. So we can, if you look over this direction here real quick, you'll see we can look to the rear of the aircraft quickly and then back to the front, reset your view. So if you get lost in the aircraft, all your views, if you've been mucking around with the hat switch here, changing views, you can always quickly move back to the forward view nice and fast. So if you find it really dark in the cockpit, this little book light just here will shine a light across all the switch array if you're having trouble seeing what you're doing. I've actually relabeled a few of these here, so it's a bit easier to see for those pilots with not so great eyes. Alright, and that about wraps up, one little last little thing here just for your convenience. That about wraps up the simulator brief for the Point Cook Flying Club. Thank you very much.